I'm Joan Matthews, Germain Jewel, San Francisco.
Delighted. We still have a minute or two. Would you care for a cocktail?
I'd love one.
Let me fetch you one.
No, no, don't bother. A martini, please.
Surely. You want some? Please have one.
No, thanks.
Go ahead.
You're very kind.
Is your interest in jewelry professional?
No, just feminine.
I see. I understand Mr. Woodruff has quite a display.
So I understand.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening,
Shall we sit down?
Woodruff and Company take great pleasure in presenting their annual show, which this year we have chosen to call the International Review of Jewels. First, from the land of the eternal pagodas, jade. The jewelry worn by this charming young lady is mounted in designs patterned after the decor of the Second Ming Dynasty.
Lovely.
She certainly is.
From a weird temple, hidden in the mountain fastnesses of India, came the inspiration for the exotic jewelry worn by this lovely temple dancer.
I don't care for too many bracelets on a woman, do you?
There aren't too many bracelets.
I like that.
Thanks.
And now, gentlemen, drawing our inspiration from the tempo of modern living, we take pleasure in presenting a group of designs expressing the grandeur and beauty of the metropolis of the world, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Sarah Sorrell, wearing the favorite of beautiful women the world over, the diamond.
What a dream of a necklace.
I'd say that dream's worth about $50,000.
All you men can think about is how much things cost, not how beautiful they are.
Shall I have it put away for you?
Never mind. I'll take it with me.
The necklace. O'Farrell! Lieutenant O'Farrell!
But I think she'll be all right.
What's the matter, Mr. Woodruff? What's happened?
Lieutenant, the necklace is gone.
What necklace?
The diamond necklace Miss Sorrell was wearing. It cost $50,000.
You mean to say... What? All right, everybody, stay where you are. Nobody leave until I tell you to.
Please, please, everybody. There's been an unfortunate occurrence which I'm sure can be easily explained.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, line up. Men on one side, women on the other. I must ask you all to submit to being searched. Never mind, lady. We'll have a police matron here.
Just a moment, O'Farrell, please. These people are my guests. I can't have them embarrassed.
Listen, Mr. Woodruff, your job is to sell jewels. Mine's to keep people from getting them for nothing.
Just a minute. Do you mean we're to be subjected to this indignity?
Well, I personally vouch for Mrs. Jameson.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is it necessary for me to remain?
Well, of course not, Miss Matthews. I vouch for her, too.
Thank you.
Now, wait a minute.
Do you mind? Bye.
Look, if you're going to vouch for everybody, how are we going to find the necklace?
Well, the necklace happens to be insured. My goodwill is not. You may leave, Mrs. Schuyler, Mrs. Morrow, Mr. Turner.
Oh, Mr. Woodruff, I have an appointment. May I also leave?
Why, of course, Mr. Dunn represents the indemnity company which insures me. I vouch for him also.
Okay, you can go.
Mr. Cromwell?
Hey, lady, it's none of my business, but there's a car back there that's been trailing us for the last 10 blocks.
What? Can't you drive any faster? Driver, I've changed my mind. Go to the Hotel Sheraton and please hurry.
Yes.
Call for Mr. Kane. Call for Mr. Kane.
I'd like a room, please. I'm in a terrible hurry.
I beg your pardon?
I said I'd like a room. It doesn't matter where. Quickly, please.
Are you planning a long stay?
I don't know. A day, 2, perhaps a week.
Sorry, sir, but you can't park here.
Oh, but I'm in a hurry. There's a young lady in here I've got to see.
There's lots of young ladies in the hotel, but you can't park here.
Haven't you any luggage?
No.
I'm sorry, but our policy
Oh,
is...
yes, yes, of course, naturally. I know. I'll pay in advance, but Oh, please, you've simply got to help me. I'm running away from my husband. He struck me.
I'm sorry, but our policy
It's
quite all right. I understand you're terribly upset, aren't you? We'll do everything we can to help you.
Thank you.
Give Mrs. Matthews 313. Page, 313.
This way, please.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Look, I don't want to have any trouble.
The young lady who just went up, what's her room number?
313.
Wait a minute, where do you think you're going?
Up to see her. Any objections?
This is the Sheraton Hotel for women. You can't go up there.
Are you her husband?
Husband? Oh, yes.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, striking your wife, a lovely girl like that.
A wife beater, eh? Come on, get out of here before I call the police.
But wait a minute.
Do as I tell you. Come.
Yes. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jenny, the maid. I brought you some towels and thought maybe I'd turn down the bed.
Never mind. Do that later.
I work on this floor, and I do a lot of things for the girls, you know, like mending and sewing and
Yes,
ironing.
I'll remember that. Thank you.
Well, I'd be happy to help you unpack your luggage and put your things away.
I haven't any luggage.
No luggage?
No. Does this fire escape lead to the street?
I don't know. We never had a fire. Aren't you afraid you'll smother?
Be all right.
If that's all of me, I go now.
Would it be possible for me to borrow something to sleep in? You know, pajamas, nightgown, or...
Yes, I think so. I'll be right back.
Jenny, for heaven's sake, don't tear the building down.
Hey, Miss Edwards, guess what? There's a gun mall in 313. Oh, Jenny. But I saw the gun with my own eyes. Miss Hobart, something just happened like the stuff you write about in your magazines. A mysterious woman checked in 313 without any luggage except a gun.
Jenny, where is my eraser? Why don't you leave my things alone?
I never touch anything.
Well, see if there's one in that drawer.
But Miss Hobart, she was
Jenny,
worried.
please get the eraser.
Has anybody got any candy?
Hello, Happy. Help yourself. Did you know there was a gun mall in 313?
Quit your clowning.
What's the matter with you girls? Don't you believe me? Why, she's dead. Where's the Epsom salt? I want to soak my feet. I just danced them down to a stub.
Who's the boyfriend tonight, Emmy Lou?
I'm not telling.
Jenny, show her the Epsom sauce, will you?
Sure. Miss Bentley, did you know a girl checked in 313 without any luggage and a gun?
Really? He took her into his arms as if she were made of feathers. Then, crushing her to his chest, he smothered her with kisses. Isn't that wonderful?
Mush. Oh, give it to me, Happy. You're getting it all sticky.
It's sticky enough now.
Congratulate me. Judith, you mean it happened? Don't tell me about Papa Question. He's taking me up to meet his family this weekend.
Did he give you a ring?
No, but... Well, then it ain't official. Quiet, my cynical friend.
He wanted me to have this.
Oh,
Oh, pretty snazzy.
Oh, darling, that's simply beautiful.
Oh, I love it.
And I was close enough to touch it. Honey, you sure get the wildest notions. It was probably one of those novelty cigarette cases. You know, the kind where you pull a trigger and a cigarette jumps out?
You mean it?
Sure thing. They've got them in all the stores. Well, am I a dope? What will I think of next? Gosh, I forgot. I promised to get her something to sleep in.
There, that looks nice.
Hello, Miss Judith.
What's Jenny all excited about?
Oh, something about some mysterious girl in 313. You know, ever since she started going around with that detective, old Farrell, she dreams up more plots than I do.
Judith, are we going to be your bridesmaids?
Well, I don't know. Who is it?
It's me, Jenny. I brought you these.
Thank you very much, Jenny.
You're welcome. Never know the difference.
It must be 313. Oh, she just fainted.
Girls, please, let me through.
Am I shot?
Oh, you're all right. Oh, who does this belong to?
It's mine. I do a great deal of traveling with valuables. I have a license to carry it.
Oh, I see.
It was my fault, Miss Whitman. I shouldn't have been fooling around. That'll teach me.
Thank goodness no one was hurt.
I'm sorry I got the entire hotel out of bed.
Oh, we weren't in bed. We were in our room talking about Judith's wedding. She got herself engaged tonight.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, my dear, I'm so happy for you.
That's a lovely pin you're wearing.
Her boyfriend got it for her.
Your boyfriend. Would you mind telling me where he bought it?
He didn't buy it. He made it.
Bob's a very clever designer of jewelry at Lanton's.
Of course, they're not real rubies.
Well, it certainly fooled me, and I know something about jewelry.
It's a copy of a pin he's making for Roger P. Cavendish.
His debutante daughter's getting married, and he's giving her the $250,000 trinket as a wedding present.
Well, you'll make the lovelier bride.
You're very kind. And now, girls, I'm sure that Mrs. Matthews would appreciate it if we left her alone.
Well, if you don't mind, I have had rather a hectic day.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I'm awfully sorry.
Oh, forget it. And thanks for the pajamas.
Oh, it's all right.
Glad Jenny wasn't hurt.
Cigarette case, huh?
You today.
Miss Edwards wants her hair curled.
Do you think you can do it, Jenny?
Oh, yes. I always curl my own.
All right. Listen to this. Jewel gang strikes again. Police baffled. $50,000 gem stolen at Society Jewel Show. Hey, Jenny, here's your boyfriend's name in the paper.
Oh, gee, may I see that?
Sure.
Pat'll be burned.
Stop worrying about pat burning. Watch my hair.
Oh, Farrell's spelled with only one L.
That dumb detective won't know the difference.
Oh, he's not so dumb. He's just a little slow on the upbeat. Listen to this. Among those present were Constable Madison and Joan Matthews. Uh-huh. That's that gun moll with the cigarette case.
Are you still harping on that?
Well, there's something mighty funny going on at the Sherrington. Sarah Sorrell, who modeled the necklace, lives in 315, and Joan Matthews, who was present at the show, checks in last night in 313.
Oh, it's just a coincidence.
There's something mighty coincidental about this coincidence. Margie, get me Pat down at headquarters. Uh-huh. All right, Jenny, all right.
Yeah, Chief, Yeah, but look, Chief, Chief, I tried to... Chief, Yeah, but Chief... Lieutenant Farrell speaking. Oh, it's you. Well, look, I can't talk, you know. I got to see a guy about business.
But it's important. I've got a clue.
A clue? A clue to what?
To who might have committed that robbery last night.
What? What are you talking about? Certainly I read the papers. My ears are still ringing.
She's tall, she's mysterious, she's beautiful, a regular Mata Hari. You know the type.
Look, stop being so dramatic, will you? Just take care of that hotel, make the beds. I'll take care of crime. Now, I gotta hurry. Bye, honey.
But, Pat, you stubborn mule, you'll wind up pounding a beaten Yonkers, and I'll wind up in the old lady's home. I smell something. Here, I'm burning. Take that thing out of my head. Oh, I'm awfully sorry. Oh, I didn't mean to.
Think nothing of it, dearie. I always wanted a Bosch bomb.
Have you?
Mr. Dunn is here now.
Send him in.
Go right in, Mr. Dunn.
Well, it's about time you were showing up.
Good morning, boss.
Well, where have you been?
Trailing a very attractive young lady.
On my time?
Strictly business.
Would you mind telling me where you were when the Woodruff necklace was taken?
Right there.
Right there.
Sure, I saw who took it.
Say, what are you, a detective or a peeping Tom?
I saw who took it, and I know who's got it.
Who?
A very attractive young lady.
You let her get away with it?
Sure.
Well, where's she now?
Room 313, Hotel Charrington. What are you going to do?
That's what you should have done yesterday. Tell the police to pick up the girl.
Wait a minute.
What for?
What proof have the police other than my word that the girl's got the necklace? And if they don't find it on her, you leave yourself wide open for a libel suit. You won't get the necklace, and it'll cost you the full $50,000 claim. But if we make it come to us, we get both. And the most it can cost is $5,000 or $10,000.
Well, what makes you think she hasn't already disposed of it?
Because I've checked all the fences, and the necklace hasn't been offered. I'll make your bet her mob will contact us.
Well, I wish I had your faith.
Listen, you're paying me to break up a mob that's costing you dough for months. I will. But you've got to let me handle it my way.
Yeah?
A lady wishes to speak to you.
Well, what's her name?
She won't give it.
Oh, what's it about?
She won't say.
Why don't you talk to her?
All right, put her on. Yeah?
Hello, Mr. Grayson. My name isn't important, but I think my information is.
I see by the papers that Woodruff's lost a very valuable diamond necklace.
Yes, I read it in the papers, too.
That's the girl, all right. I know that voice.
Now, I have a friend who has a friend who thinks she's found the necklace.
It's very interesting.
My friend thinks the necklace is very pretty, but she'd rather have $10,000 cash.
Just a moment, please. Trace that call.
Operator, get me the head supervisor.
Yes, miss, as you were saying.
By the way, if you intend to trace this call, I'll save you the trouble. I'm talking from a drugstore at 87th and Madison. The number is, Atwater 97688. And if a girl answers, it won't be me.
Never mind. Pretty smart, aren't you, miss?
If you're interested, my friend will be in the lobby at the Sherrington Hotel at 5 o'clock. She'll be wearing a dark tailored suit, one white gardenia, and 2 long white feathers in her hat. She'll be glad to talk to any friend of yours with $10,000. Goodbye.
What did I tell you? She took the bait.
I hope.
All you have to do now is write out a check for $10,000 and leave the rest to me.
I thought you said she'd be here at 5.
Oh, you know how women are. Always late, especially pretty ones. There she is now.
Which one?
The one with the white feathers.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for the break, Mr. Dent.
That's okay, boys.
Okay, miss, let's go.
I beg your pardon.
Better come along quietly.
Just what is the meaning of this?
Save it, sister. You're under arrest.
Arrest? You must be crazy.
Look, now, don't go making a scene.
I certainly will make a scene.
You're coming out of headquarters, see?
I'm not going to headquarters, and take your hands off me.
Okay, sister, you asked for it.
Oh, stop. Turn me loose. Darling. Oh.
Hey, what's going on here?
These nasty men are taking me down to headquarters.
What's the idea?
Who are you, buddy?
I'm her husband.
An accomplice.
No.
Resisting an officer.
Wait a minute. I'll see the commissioner. I'll call a lawyer. Just a minute here.
And a scotch and soda, please.
I thought you liked martinis.
What are you doing here?
I've got a date. Do you mind?
But didn't you just leave with a couple of escorts?
I know. I just got here without an escort.
I've only had one drink, and I'm seeing double. A girl wearing exactly the same outfit was just taken out of here by 2 detectives.
That's impossible. Isn't it awful the way they cheat you nowadays? You know, when I bought this outfit, they told me it was the only one in New York.
Make that a double.
And you, miss?
The gentleman will order for me.
A martini. And make that a double, too.
You two look like a nice couple. Don't stay mad.
Is it possible that my date is with you?
I don't know. Who are you supposed to meet?
A gentleman with a lot of money.
Would $10,000 fit the description?
It might.
Well, looks like you and I might do business.
Mm-hmm. We might. Happiness. What were you saying?
I've got the check all made out. What's the matter?
Sorry, no checks. And if you have any funny ideas about the necklace, I didn't bring it with me.
Well, then, how are we going to get together?
Oh, let me see. I know. Why don't you take me to dinner? We can discuss it then. I always like to talk business after a nice dinner, some wine, and a few rumblers. Don't you?
Mm-hmm. It's a very lovely way of doing business.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. You know more about the girl those detectives took out of that lobby than you've told me.
Why, Mr. Dunn, what a suspicious mind. Do you think they'll get a long sentence?
You know very well they can't hold them.
I'm so glad. They're such a nice couple.
Oh, so you admit you know them.
Never said I didn't. The girl is an old schoolmate, an actress out of a job. I paid her $25 to understudy me.
And that husband?
Oh, it was just an extra artistic touch. Cost me another $10.
The way you do business, you can afford it. And speaking of husbands, how does yours feel about your hobby?
What? Oh, you mean the jewelry business? Well, what he doesn't know can't hurt him.
Does he beat you regularly?
On schedule.
They told me at the hotel you were brought in on a stretcher.
Well, that's a slight exaggeration.
Just like that husband. Now look, how about that necklace?
I can't understand men. Here you are out with a very attractive girl. And a good dancer, too. And all you can think about is business. Why don't we just dance?
I'm certainly making progress with you.
You stay right in there and pitch. The night is still young.
Cigarette?
Thanks. Oh, look. There's Henry Woodruff with the beautiful pigeon who lost a feather last night.
My best client.
Why don't you ask them over?
Let's keep this a party just for two.
Well, Mr. Woodruff? No, thank you. We're going to the bar.
Very good.
Hello there.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, Miss Sorrell, Miss Matthews.
How do you do?
How do you do?
How are you, Greg?
Henry, how are you?
Good evening, Miss Matthews.
Good evening, Mr. Woodruff. You probably don't remember me, but last night you fainted right at our feet.
Oh, yes, now I remember.
Greg was just saying how nice it would be if you two would join us.
Well, we're only staying for one drink.
Won't you sit down and have it here?
Oh, I think that's a wonderful idea.
What would you like?
Well, Miss Sorrell would like a Benedictine and brandy.
And you, Henry?
I think I'll stick to whiskey and soda, please.
2 whiskeys and soda and 2 B&B. It's a funny thing running into you like this. Miss Matthews and I were just discussing your accident last night.
Yes, we both felt very sorry for you.
You'll never know what I went through. Those policemen grilled me for hours.
Haven't you any idea how it happened?
No, I'd been on my feet all day, and when I hit those lights, I just fainted, and that's all I remember.
That's too bad. I think it's a shame that fine firms like yours are victimized by unscrupulous criminals.
Yes, it's one of the risks of our business.
But I'm one of the compensations, aren't I, darling?
Yes, dear.
It's a lucky thing for jewelers that insurance companies are willing to share the risks, isn't it?
Yes, isn't it?
Honey, my glass is empty.
I'm not surprised.
Could I have another one, please?
Well, now, don't you think you're rushing it somewhat? Remember, you had 3 before we came in.
Are you going to order one, or shall I?
I think I'll go powder my nose. Wouldn't you like to come along? The men will order a drink while we're gone.
All right. But if I do, that means I get 2 and I get back.
May I have my compact?
Surely.
You?
What do you think of her, Henry?
What I want to know is what happened to that necklace.
She got there ahead of me.
It's the first time you slipped up.
It's the first time I've ever been up against anyone like that.
Greg, we planned last night's job for a long time. You knew it was essential to steal my diamonds so that I could collect the insurance. But the whole plan behind you going to work for jeweler's indemnity was to give us an inside track.
May not be as bad as you think, Henry.
What do you mean?
Grayson's offering $10,000 for the return of that necklace. But that's a drop in the bucket compared to the...
Well, we're managing very well.
But why not play it smart, Henry? We'd be much better off having her as a partner than a competitor. She's beautiful and she's as clever as they come. She proved it last night. We could use someone like that very nicely.
You think you could trust her?
Naturally, I'm not going to make a move until I'm sure.
No, we can't be too careful. Quiet, here she comes. Remember, don't let your heart run away with your head.
Mr. Woodruff, I think it might be a good idea if you took Miss Sorrell home. She's not very well.
I see. Thank you.
Not at all. I had her taken to your car.
You're very discreet.
Miss Matthews is always discreet.
Good night.
Good night. What about another rumba? I love the way you dance.
Well, you're pretty good, too, but after all, we did have a purpose in coming here. Now, what about this deal of ours?
I look forward to a charming evening. Now, please don't spoil it.
But let's settle this first and dance afterwards.
Are you going to take me out on that floor, or am I going to do it solo?
All right. Will you listen to me a minute?
Dance.
We've been trying to outsmart each other, and that's getting us no place.
Will you please dance?
Will you please give me that necklace, or am I...
Oh,
sorry?
Well, if it isn't Mr. Dunn, having fun.
Yes, Mrs. Hudson.
Oh, that's nice. Who in the world is that?
That's our problem, child. She's got 3 chins and a diamond necklace for each one.
You mean all those stones are real?
That's right. Our firm insures them.
You must do all right with customers like that.
She's been robbed 3 times in the past year, and we've had to pay off each time.
It's too bad. Any idea who did it?
Practically anybody could. She throws that stuff around her apartment like it was confetti.
Interesting. I think I'm ready to talk business to you. Shall we sit down?
Good.
Where did you say Mrs. Millionbucks lives?
I didn't say, but it's at 57th and Park.
Any children, friends, or relatives staying there?
Not that I know of. Why?
Before I answer that question, will you tell me something?
If I can.
Just what do you do for Grayson?
Well, I handle unofficial jobs for him.
Like the Woodruff Diamond business?
That's right.
How much does he pay you?
$500 a month in expenses. Say, what is this, the census? What are you laughing at?
I can't understand why a nice, bright fellow like you is wasting himself for $500 a month in expenses.
Bachelor can do all right on that.
For one night's work, I stand to clear $10,000.
But you're a very clever jewel thief, Miss Matthews.
Well, I'd hardly call what you do legitimate. The only difference is that my business pays off better.
Just what are you trying to sell me?
I'm going to let you in on a good thing. I've been doing all right by myself, but there comes a time in every woman's life when she becomes lonely. I think we'd make a swell team. You ought to feel flattered. I've been in this business a long time, and I've never found anyone I wanted to work with.
Keep talking.
You take, for instance, Mrs. Millionbucks over there. Something tells me she's going to be here until a wee small hour. If a couple of nice young people dropped into her apartment and found she was out, I think those 2 people could do themselves a lot of good. Think it over, but don't take too long.
How do I know you're on the level?
It's something you've been trying to get from me for 2 days. Is that right?
That's right.
Now, just to prove my good faith, I'm going to give it to you. Please give me my compact.
Sure. You mean to tell me I've been carrying that all night?
Yes, partner. Now, if you don't mind, I think we better go. We have a date at 57th and Park.
Right. Waiter. Ben's over here.
You know this place pretty well, don't you?
I've been up here before to appraise your jewels.
Pull the drapes.
Here it is. Come on, let's go. Hey, you better pull yourself together.
Greg, to kill me.
Well, it was him or me or you.
I know, but...
Don't think about it. Let me get you some more brandy.
No, thanks, no.
Have a cigarette. You better go back to your hotel and try to get this off your mind.
I'm not going to leave here.
That's what you think, lady. All right, let's go.
Say, what's the idea of breaking into my apartment like this? Since when is it a crime for a lady and man to have a drink together?
It ain't, but murder is.
Murder?
Yeah, lady, that butler died.
What butler?
What are they talking about?
You know what we're talking about. But before he died, he described both of you. And what's more, the doorman at the apartment house remembered the license number of your car. You'd better come quietly.
Greg, what are these two gentlemen talking about?
I haven't the slightest idea, and I'll thank both of you to get out of here.
What?
Look, we had dinner and went to the theater. The show was pretty dull, so...
We're terribly bored.
After the first act, I suggested a drink, and...
I said yes. Won't you join us?
Look, lady, cut out that sociable stuff. Now, we know that you didn't have anything to do with this killing. So if you want to play ball with us, I promise we'll go easy with you.
You know, the show was terribly dull. All about an explorer who comes back from Alaska after 8 years in an igloo and finds his wife has given him up for dead. Isn't that tragic?
Okay, lady, if you're going to stick with that story, there's nothing we can do. But I promise you, it'll go just as hard on you as it does on him.
All right, gentlemen, that's all. Miss Matthews, let me congratulate you.
But I don't understand.
May I present Mr. Corbin, a very bad actor, but one of the finest diamond cutters in the world, and Mr. Berners, an equally bad thespian. Well, a brilliant craftsman working in jewel mountings. Thank you, gentlemen. Good night.
Good night, sir.
You mean that...
Yes, it was my apartment that you robbed.
Well, you certainly fooled me.
I'm sorry you had to go through this, Miss Matthews, but fond as I am of Greg, I still had to test your loyalty for myself. But any girl who's willing to face a murder charge and not inform the police belongs with us.
Shall we have a drink on that, partner?
All right.
Excellent idea.
Well, you see, Mr. Brady, I was right about Dunn.
How did you find this?
My little trade secret.
You know, it's awfully hard to believe that a reputable jeweler like Henry Woodruff could be the head of an organization like that.
From the show they put on last night, Woodruff has a beautifully organized mob.
But how did you know that the whole thing was a fake?
I found this in the desk.
Did Dunn see you take this?
Nope.
Fine. What's your next move?
I don't know. But I've got to see Woodruff in 15 minutes.
Are you sure you can handle this by yourself?
I've done all right so far. I think I better follow through alone.
Now remember, you're playing a very dangerous game, and you make one slip and that mob will stop at nothing.
I won't slip. Goodbye.
Take care of yourself.
recovered in a hurry, didn't you?
Yes, miss. Mr. Dunn's waiting. Won't you come in?
Hello, Joe.
Hello, Greg. I didn't know you could play.
I can't. Sit down.
Where's Woodruff?
Out.
Out. He sent for me.
I know. He'll be back. I got something for you. Compliments of jeweler's indemnity. 10,000 in $1,000 bills. Count them.
Oh, your word's good. But 5 of this is yours.
Ah,
I told you we'd split when I turned the necklace over to you.
I've got mine.
What do you mean?
I told Grayson what a tough job I had getting that necklace from you.
You did, didn't you?
I must confess it was quite difficult. And you know what he did? He upped the original amount to 20,000. He still saves 30,000. You get 10 and I get 10.
Well, you learn fast, don't you?
Hello, Joan.
Anything wrong, Henry?
I have a feeling the climate's becoming too warm for us here, so we're closing up shop.
What are you talking about?
I just got some inside information. The Commissioner Brady's taking a personal interest in our little enterprise.
Oh, you hear things like that all the time.
It's more than a rumor.
Why don't we pull one job before we leave, and that'll give us capital for where we're going?
There isn't enough time. I'm going to clear up my affairs and get out of town the first thing in the morning.
But that still gives us tonight.
Oh, what can we do in one night?
Make ourselves $100,000 apiece.
What?
You seen this? How would you like to have that in your luggage when you start traveling?
Now, don't be insane. We might just as well go after the crown jewels.
Maybe we will.
Say, how many martinis have you had?
Don't be funny. Now listen to this little item. At 9 o'clock, there will be a private exhibition of Barbara Cavendish's rubies in the showrooms of Lanton's jewelry shop.
What do you expect us to do? Walk in and hold up lanterns?
Nothing as crude as all that. Now listen to me. I'll attend that show tonight, and I'm going to walk out with the Cavendish rubies.
Just like that?
Just like that.
And what'll everybody else be doing while you're making your exit? Applauding?
They'll be looking at a duplicate.
A duplicate? Do you realize how long it'll take to make one?
I know where there's one already made up, just waiting to be switched.
Oh, that's impossible.
Think so? Meet me in Greg's apartment at 8 o'clock tonight. Goodbye, boys.
Bye.
I shall always remember us, Greg, in a martini setting. Happiness.
Happiness. What are you thinking about?
Same thing you are?
What's that?
Rubies.
You're wrong.
Am I?
Yep. I'm not thinking about rubies. I'm thinking beyond that. After your little blitzkrieg tonight and we cash in, we'll have $200,000 between us.
Almost enough to retire on.
Yeah.
Almost enough to turn honest on.
And for the first time in my life, I'm going to be able to do some of the things everybody thinks about and never does.
Like what?
Well, like breaking the bank at Monte Carlo. Like going native in the South Sea.
Raffles in a sarong.
Sure, why not?
Why not? Sounds wonderful.
I'll tell you something, Joan. With money, anybody can do those things. But it takes two to enjoy them.
If it's the right two.
I think we're the right two. How about it?
But, Greg...
Oh, come on, Joan. Why not? Once I remember you told me you were lonely.
I was?
I've had this idea a long time. I think ever since we shared our first martini. Remember? Look, what can we lose? We can troop around the world. Do anything we want to. No strings, no conditions. And if one of us gets tired and wants to go it alone, well, that's okay. Is it a deal? What's the matter?
Nothing, only...
Only what?
For a minute, it sounded just like a beautiful dream.
This is no dream, Joan. This is a reality. As real as the Cavendish rubies.
Greg.
Yes?
That's what you really want, isn't it? The money and...
Sure, who doesn't? When you and I travel, we've got to go first class. And that takes money. And we won't have to worry about that after tonight, will we? Excuse me, dear.
Hello, Greg. Everything set?
Yes, everything's perfect.
Fine. Oh, good evening, Miss Matthews.
Good evening.
Well, where's that miracle you promised?
Here it is.
What?
What do you think of it?
Beautiful. A fine piece of work. Who made this?
The man who made the original. His girlfriend lives at the hotel, and I borrowed it from her.
Well done.
I better get started. I have a date at Lanton's.
Just a minute, Joan. I'm going with you.
No, Greg, you mustn't.
Why not?
Because we were seen together when I stole the diamond necklace. If they see us again, well, it's obvious, isn't it? Besides, Mr. Woodruff says Brady has his suspicions, too.
Right. I'll telephone you later at your hotel.
Fine. Bye.
Bye. Bye. And I have a little job for you, Greg.
What's that?
I want you to follow that girl.
But I don't get it. You don't think that...
I'm not taking any chances. See that she goes into Lanterns and see that she comes out. Leave her back at my place. Say, you're not in love with her, are you?
I'm pretty sure that I am.
Well, remember what I told you about your heart running away with your head?
We've done all right so far, haven't we?
So far, my boy.
This is a 30-minute zone, buddy.
Just waiting for my wife, officer. She'll be right out.
Not if I know women.
Taxi, please.
The pin was there this afternoon, but when I went to put it on for my date with Bob tonight, it was gone.
Well, it looks to me like the fine hand of Mrs. Matthews.
Why don't you stop trying to build up your own private crime wave?
Yeah, go ahead, all right, laugh at me. But I'll bet you anything she stole it.
Oh, you're crazy. If she is a jewel thief, why does she want to take an imitation?
Well, I'll have to think of the answer to that later. Now, look, girls, I know it's none of my business, but I think we should investigate the activities of Mrs. Matthews.
But, honey, she doesn't look like a thief.
Well, maybe she's one of those people that steals because she can't help herself. You know, a pyromaniac.
But, girls, what'll I do? Bob's waiting for me in the lobby. Will you run on, Judith? Tell him I borrowed it for a heavy date. Bob's nice. He won't mind.
Well, all right. But I hope I find it. Bob will never forgive me if I don't.
Oh, now, don't worry, dear. Go on and have a good time.
Good night.
Good night, Judith. Hello, is that you, Margie? Say, have you got any idea what Mrs. Matthews did today?
Oh, now don't start that again.
What?
Well, the page girl told me she was in this afternoon and then went out for a couple of hours in evening clothes. Then rushed back here in a big hurry just a few minutes ago.
What did I tell you? She was in. She could have done it.
Are you still taking that correspondence course from that flatfoot?
What? What?
Just a minute. There's a call coming in for her now.
Uh-huh. Say, Marge, don't do anything illegal, but keep your ears open.
Hello? Yes. No, I'm sure I wasn't followed.
Say, Jenny, I just heard her say something about being followed.
Where do you want me to bring it?
Don't write this down. Remember it. The address is 1128 River Drive. Got that?
Yes. I'll leave right away.
Margie heard her say something about bringing something over to some place.
Probably her laundry. Why don't you quit?
Say, Marge, have you any idea what she was talking about?
Have you any idea what you're talking about?
She hung up now, but she's going to make another call.
Hello? Yes, this is Joan. Oh, I'm all right. Don't worry about me.
Oh, that's fine. Is everything all set?
Yes. Just as we planned. I've got the rubies, and what's more, I've got the address where I'm to take them.
Give it to me.
Yeah? Yeah. I got it. 1128 River Drive. Are you sure the entire mob will be there?
Margie heard her say something about talking to the head of the mob and told the gang to meet them at their secret hiding place.
What for? To turn over an imitation pin? Oh, that's silly. What kind of a mob is that?
Okay, Marge, but if you hear anything else, give me a jingle.
Judith, she isn't in her room.
She went out with her boyfriend.
Wait till he hears about this.
Here's about what?
What I just heard over the radio.
Honey, will you swallow that candy and talk sense?
I just heard that the Cavendish pin, you know, the one Bob designed, was stolen while on exhibition at the Lanton showroom, and an imitation left in its place.
What?
And the radio announcer said that it was a most daring robbery. Why, the criminal walked right out from underneath the eyes of all the jewelers, the experts, and the guards.
Wait a minute. I see the whole picture now. Jenny's right. It is Mrs. Matthews' work.
Hey, steady now. She got you that way, too?
Now, wait a minute. Listen to me. Mrs. Matthews stole Judith's pin and used it as a substitute for the original.
Wow, it fits! Well, what am I standing here for? Hello, Margie? Get Pat at headquarters. Yeah, call all the numbers. I'll hang on and hurry. Girls, you gotta help me now. This is Pat's chance to redeem himself. If he catches her with the goods, he'll be a hero.
Well, Jenny, you keep after Pat and we'll go in and stall her.
What do you expect us to do, tie in a chair?
Why don't you read the last chapter of your novel?
Bless you, darling. That's not a bad idea. Now, you keep after Pat and we'll take care of that Matthews mall. Come on, girls.
Margie, did you get him yet? Did you try the athletic club? Did you try the steam room? Well, tell him to send a messenger.
Oh, Lorna. Hello, Jenny.
Hello, Miss Sorrell. I'm phoning my boyfriend. He's a detective.
Anything wrong?
I'll say there is.
Pat? Well, I don't care if you are dripping. This is important. The Cavendish rubies worth $250,000 are in room 313.
What are they doing there?
What are they doing there? They were stolen, that's what, from the Lanton showroom by Mrs. Matthews.
Oh, yeah? How do you know?
How do I know? She used Judith Wilson's copy. That's how I know.
Now get your clothes on and get over here just as fast as you can.
Are you sure about all this?
Absolutely. Mrs. Matthews is a part of a gang run by a crook named Vincent Brady.
Vincent Brady?
Sure. Margie heard her talking to him on the telephone. Excuse me, Miss Sorrell. I gotta figure out a way to get my boyfriend in this hotel.
Get me River 56783, please.
What on earth's keeping that girl?
Don't worry, Henry. She'll be here all right.
Yes? Yes, what is it, Sarah? What? Are you sure? Yes, all right.
What did she say?
She'll be here, eh? Well, it might interest you to know that the Matthews girl is working for Vincent Brady. In other words, a stool pigeon for the police.
So what are you talking
I
about?
don't know what you're going to do, but I am getting out of here.
Don't kiss me, Gwendolyn said. When you kiss me, I cannot think, and I must think. But please do not leave me now. Lorna, I hate to interrupt such a fascinating story, but I really have to go now. Oh, well, there's only half a page more. I'm sorry, I can't stay. Why don't you leave the script here? I'll read it tonight.
I wouldn't leave just yet, Mrs. Matthews.
Do you mind telling me just what this is all about? No, it's no use, Mrs. Matthews, or whatever your name is. We know all about it. What do you mean?
Where is the Cavendish brooch?
We know you stole it.
And you're not leaving this room until the police get here.
Just a minute. I don't know how you found out, but you're wrong. I do have the rubies, but I didn't steal them.
Oh, I suppose you won them at bank night.
Listen, girls, you've got to believe me. I'm working with the police. My job is to break up a gang of jewel thieves. That sounds like the kind of a plot I might dream of. It's the truth, I tell you.
Tell it to the judge. He'll cry his eyes out.
Grab the phone! Will you please let me use that phone? And let you tip off your mom? Don't be silly. You're just wasting precious time. I can prove who I am. I've got credentials in my bag. She's got a gun in there. We'll just see if you're telling the truth. That card in there will tell you who I am. To all police officers, this will identify Miss Joan Matthews. Any courtesies extended will be appreciated. Vincent Brady, Commissioner of Police.
Well, that sounds legitimate to me.
Oh, I've used that same gag in some of my stories. Sit down, Miss Matthews. And stay there.
Where's Miss Matthews' room?
You're not allowed up here. You're a man.
Shut up. Get going. Come on.
Oh!
All right. Where is it?
It's this way. No, it's that way.
Come on.
Greg,
Shut up. Where is it?
you find it.
Put it on.
Where are we going?
Come on, don't ask questions.
Come on, open up in there.
So you got the cops, too. You think of everything, don't you? Stay where you are.
Come on, open up. What's going on in there? Let me in.
Greg, you haven't got a chance.
Quick, the window, he's climbing down.
He's going into the room below.
Get out of my way.
Greg!
Pat, are you all right?
It's no use, Joan. Sorry we couldn't get together on that trip. I could have showed you a swell time.
Greg. Come in.
Did you ring, miss?
Yes, I'd like to get a drink.
What did you wish?
I'll have a martini.
Yes, ma'am.
A double martini.
Yes, ma'am.